It's the morning of Wednesday, October 9th. I'm meteorologist Serena Arnold. This is everything I think you need to know about Hurricane Milton that's going to be making landfall late tonight or early tomorrow morning. First, I need you to find out what your elevation is if you live on the Gulf Coast. You can do this through your iPhone, or you can go to whatismyelevation.com, type in your address. If you are at 20 feet of elevation or lower, you need to evacuate. And evacuate doesn't mean vacation. I know you can't buy an airplane ticket. I know there's no hotels. You need to get in your car and you need to head about 5 or 10 miles east. You need to find a gigantic parking lot with no trees around it or a big parking garage and hunker down in your car for a little while, because you can possibly survive that, but you will not survive that storm surge. 10 feet goes all the way up to your ceiling on your first floor. 15 takes you halfway up your second floor. Once the water's that high, it's too late to do anything. You're stuck. So please don't do that. You don't need to go very far in some instances to have more survivable conditions. Milton was a Cat 5 all night long and has been downgraded to a 4 now. It is still a very strong 4 and is going to make landfall as a strong hurricane. Anywhere that's in the red can expect to experience hurricane force winds that's 74 miles per hour or greater. If you are in the blue, you will experience tropical storm force winds. Those are 39 miles per hour, but less than 74. The most severe conditions are going to be located within that eye wall. That eye wall is expected to make landfall somewhere right between, say, like Venice Beach and Sarasota. I think one or both of those towns may make it within the eye of the storm. If you are within that eye wall, so just within the landfall area or just outside of it, those are going to be the strongest wind conditions, heaviest rains. That's the gnarly. But everywhere south of there, we'll see storm surge. Here's the storm surge map. So I want you to just take a look and see what we're talking about. So once again, here's that 10 to 15 foot area that if you are within that area and your elevation is 20 feet or less, I need you to go. The secondary concern is as the storm rotates counterclockwise and it crosses Florida, it's going to be bringing a lot of rain and especially storm surge to the northeastern Atlantic coast, to the Georgia coast, and part of the South Carolina coast. So these are just other areas to watch out for as the storm passes. The next thing you need to know about is the risk of tornadoes today, and I am very sorry, but this is very common with these kind of storms, and this one's going to be particularly bad. First thing I need you to know is the difference between a watch and a warning, okay? Because you'll get put under tornado watches, which means conditions are there and it may happen. If you get put under a tornado warning, that means it is happening. That's when you need to do something about it. Storm Prediction Center showing a very high chance of thunderstorms. If you're anywhere in Florida, you just need to beware of thunderstorms today. This is the tornado risk. Please don't see 10% and think that's nothing. That is incredibly substantial. And that black hashed area means there's a 10% greater probability of EF2 through EF5 tornadoes within 25 miles of any given point. You are going to have tornadoes in central Florida today. This risk for tornadoes comes before landfall, so we're looking this afternoon and this evening. Please have multiple ways to get warnings. There's also a website you can go to, water.weather.gov. This will show you forecast flood areas. This was spot on for Asheville. You can use it today. You're going to need it. This website is covered with circles and boxes. Boxes are forecast flood values. Circles are what's happening right now. So you can look at the color of the circle and see what flood stage you're in now and see where it's going to be. If you click on some of these purple boxes, you are going to break your all-time record for flood. So for example, if I click on that purple square, it brings up Cypress Creek at SR 54. Your record for this creek is 13.8 feet. You're going to get to 15 feet tomorrow. You're going to break your record. Hillsborough River at Zephyr Hills, your past record's 15.3 feet. You're going to get 16.5 feet. You are also going to break your record. Alafia River at Riverview near 301, record 9.4. You're going to peak at 11 feet. Peace River south of Lakeland is going to be slowly increasing, encroaching upon their. So once again, that's water.weather.gov. Records are going to be broken from the amount of precipitation from this storm. So let's start talking now about some more localized conditions, what you can expect for rainfall total amounts, as well as wind speeds that you can be expecting. Rainfall forecasts, it's going to be a lot of rain. That red is between 12 and 16 inches of rain. That burgundy color is 16 to 20. So I'm definitely expecting within this red stripe some locations that have even higher amounts, but this is definitely going to be a big rainmaker. Definitely expecting localized flooding throughout central Florida. This is the flash flooding potential. That purple is as high as it gets. This is what that potential looks like for Thursday. These are the locations that can expect tropical storm force winds by percentages. The purple is 100%, the green is like 10%. So if you are in a yellow area or a warmer color than that, you can absolutely expect tropical storm force winds. That's 39 miles per hour or greater. This is where we can expect hurricane storm force winds. So if you are from Clearwater down to almost Fort Myers there, and you are coastal, you can definitely expect hurricane force winds. That's 74 miles per hour or greater. This shows when those winds are going to be arriving. So pretty much everybody by tonight is going to be experiencing tropical storm force winds. Now, if you're going to heed my evacuation advice, you're going to be sitting in a car somewhere. You're like, I don't want to get rocked by 150-mile-an-hour winds in my car. You won't if you're inland. Let me show you what the wind speeds are. So kind of a cool thing happens here is the storm moves in and it gets friction with the land. It actually reduces wind speed. So the browns are hurricane force wind speed, 74 miles per hour or greater. We could see some isolated triple-digit wind speeds in there. If you are in the yellow, that is 60s, winds in the 60s miles per hour. Red is winds in the 50s. So what I want you to do is just check as we scroll through this and take a look. See that there's a really wide swath. A lot of areas are going to get those winds that are within that 50-mile-an-hour range. Anywhere that's in the yellows, once again in the 60s. So expecting a lot of 50-mile-an-hour winds here, but you see how much that drastically dies down as it moves over land. And watch, you see, it picks up again once it gets over the water again. So the land is our friend. These are the forecast rainfall totals. So as you see the storm move across here, you see those really come up. Areas in the brown, we're looking at rainfall amounts in the teens. So really seeing around the Tampa Bay area, some really high rains with a pretty quick gradient that drops off. But once again, take a look at this secondary area. I know there's a lot of focus on the Gulf Coast. If you are Northeast Atlantic coast, you are also going to be affected by a hurricane. So as we watch the storm come in here and start to make landfall, we're going to kind of check this hour by hour here. This is what's going to be 8 p.m. tonight. Let's see, this is about 11 p.m. So like I said, right around midnight is when we're going to be seeing this make landfall. This is showing you where you can see, expect the heaviest forecast rain. Note that there is a lack of rain down here. That, I mean, you're really close to where this is going to be passing, but a lot of the rain is going to be on the north side of the eye with this storm. So here we are looking at 2 a.m., this is at 5 a.m. in the morning, and we're going to finally see that low coming over here closer to the coast at about 8 a.m. in the morning, where we're going to see that relenting rain basically throughout the day, but conditions have improved greatly just by Thursday morning. There are some indications that the timing of that could speed up, so keep that in mind. I don't think that would be a bad thing. It'd be kind of like, let's get this over with and get it out of here. Right now, hurricane force winds extend 30 miles from the center of the storm, and that's a radius, not a diameter, so it's 30 miles this way plus 30 miles this way. So there's about a 60-mile swath of hurricane force winds at 74 miles per hour or greater. Tropical storm force winds extend 125 miles away from the center, so 125. So there's about a 250-mile swath of where you're going to expect tropical storm force winds. That's 39 miles per hour or higher. It is a strong Cat 4 storm at this time, and you can see almost all the models except this jabroni say it's going to continue to weaken, and meteorologically that seems legit. So as this makes landfall, we are still looking at this making landfall probably as a Category 4 storm. This will be my last update unless I see any massive changes or massive shifts in the forecast. Be safe, make good choices, and please, if your elevation is 20 feet or below, evacuate. Just go inland a tiny bit, please. And never ever drive through floodwaters. Ever. Take 6 inches of moving water to relocate your car. It's the water in hurricanes that causes more deaths than any of the other things combined, than the wind, the tornadoes, and all of that. It's the flooding, it's the storm surge. Please take the water seriously. It's incredibly powerful.